Do business, act business.
The Nigerian business environment is one that is definitely ridden with a lot of opportunities. The transport sectors via the automobile's contribution is one that we must begin to highlight. And this is what Business Matters on today's program has to offer. My name is Stephen Ipalibo Lawson, and you're welcome to Where Business Truly Matters. Every sector of the economy is important because each of those sectors contributes their own quota to the GDP of the nation. Let us have our business update.
Hey beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
It's a tradition on Business Matters to invite a distinguished professional that comes into the studio to help us dissect the topic of the day. Let's have our professionals segment. Joining me in the studio is no other person than the first certified female benz mechanic in Nigeria with over 23 years experience in the automotive industry. She's a woman who has a portfolio of training that covers different parts of the world, which includes Germany, Spain, as well as other countries in the world. She provides quality auto repairs and consultancy as well as training. She's very passionate about the girl child. She's a woman who is also driven with the ambition to fulfill the Agenda 2030, which is the gender equality in the workplace. She's also a woman who is driven by the passion to certainly see that the woman engineer or the female mechanic is one that is treated right with every due respect. Joining me in the studio is this particular woman who has an academic qualification in mechanical engineering, and that is from the Federal Polytechnic Bida in Niger State. She's no other person than the Chief Engineering Officer of Ladybenz Automechanic. No other person than Joy OBI AMUCHE. And we're looking at the topic, impact of automotive industry in Nigeria. You're welcome, Joy.
Thank you very much.
We're looking forward to the fact that we have more female mechanics in Nigeria, so to speak.
Because we are really making a wave in Nigeria in automobile industry. If you go to, even in Lagos, we have quite a number of ladies that are into automobile. You go to Abuja, you go to the east, they're into automobile. And that's why people like us are helping to make sure that our ladies are being trained in automobile industry. Because automobile industry is quite a lucrative business, which a lot of women, they shy away from it, thinking that is a male-dominated industry, that the automobile industry is basically for men. But it's not like that anymore. Because a lot of ladies that are into this automobile industry, they're actually doing very well. They're doing pretty well.
That's true.
In the industry, yeah.
Now, we're looking at the importance or the impact of the automotive industry, especially in a country like Nigeria. If we talk about automobile, you cannot disassociate transportation from that particular aspect. Although we know we have different modes of transportation, you have the air, you have the train, which is also land, and then you go by sea. A lot of people oftentimes will shy away from sea because they feel, I can't swim, so I don't want to take that going on. In your own professional experience, how important it is in terms of the automotive industry, especially in Nigeria? Because I don't think we have up to 20 million cars in Nigeria. I'm not too sure. I don't have that data.
In Nigeria, automobile industry is actually making wave also, in the sense that automobile is basically means of transportation in the world, not only in Nigeria. I know you have a lot of, even in Lagos, you have a lot of cars on the road, and the automobile industry have actually helped a lot of people, because the impact of this automobile in Nigeria can actually create job opportunity for a lot of people, because Nigerians, they love cars, to be honest with you. You can go to some people's house, they have 2, 3, 4 cars. They love cars. Even as the model improves, they buy more cars. So automobile industry has a lot of impact in Nigerian economy.
Apparently. And if you look at the aspect of the value chain, it's not just so much about the importations of the cars. You also look at the area of spare parts too. I mean, because you hear of Ladipo.
Yeah, definitely. Like in terms of even importation, the kind of cars that come into Nigeria, customs, in that aspect, they make a lot of money too, also to the economic growth of Nigeria.
That's true.
They talk about spare parts. If you go places like Ladipo, that market is a very
it's a multi-billion.
Yes,
I would not be wrong to say multi-billion dollars, because it is a lot of stuff actually
that's
goes
in
up
terms
there.
of even Tokumbo, new one. You go to places like Ojuelegba where they sell parts. You go to Trinity. If when you go to even to the Tinker Wharf, you see the way they bring in these spare parts, because Nigerians love cars.
That's great.
And so long as these cars are on the road, definitely you have need to fix them.
That's true. That's
you
true.
understand? So, by so doing that, it helps in economic of this country. And it make people to get busy. Like when you go to Ladipo, for instance, that place is like, well, I call it a Swani market of those days.
That's true.
You understand?
That's true.
So people are busy doing their businesses, different kind of model of cars.
Now, I know you are the first female certified female mechanic in the Benz brand.
Yeah.
I keep wondering, why do they call it female mechanic? Why not woman engineer or woman auto engineer or something of that nature? I mean, sometimes people imagine mechanic sounds a little bit common as a word. Perhaps what would you say in that defense?
Even in Germany, the people that fix are known to be mechanics.
Okay.
You understand? Not even engineer. They call it mechanically.
Okay.
That is in a German language.
Okay.
So they call us mechanic. But anyway, when you said mechanical engineering, some people might think, mechanical engineering is vast. You have the production, you have plant and maintenance, you have the automobile itself. So when you say mechanical engineering, some people may not understand what you're doing. But when you put that auto mechanic.
Okay. So that actually distinguishes it.
Yes,
okay, that's
auto
true.
mechanic,
that way.
Is just only automobile.
That's true.
Maybe can be mechanical engineer, you are fixing generator.
That's true.
You understand?
Okay,
you are fixing a domestic AC.
That's true.
You are fixing refrigerator. It's part of mechanical.
And I know you have a background in mechanical engineering, and one would imagine that as the first female certified Benz mechanic in Nigeria, as the case might be, do you go under the vehicle to fix the cars that come into your garage? And then, because you see a lot of mechanics, you walk on the street, the mechanic is looking all filthy. You don't even have something that looks quite presentable. So people get that idea. In that regard,
definitely I go under the car. Like if you check me online, you see what I'm doing, or you can come to my workshop. You see this is what I've been doing for years. Even I haven't worked with Mercedes-Benz company for 18 years as the only female engineer. I fix cars because it's what I love doing. I started fixing cars at the age of 12.
Wonderful.
That's when I started.
Wonderful.
Okay.
You mean toy cars? I mean.
No, I work in a automobile workshop.
That's great. That's
That
great.
was when I.
The passion and interest even was further ignited, and
Yes, of course. Because I used to see those technicians where they dismantle cars within a tick of eye, they've coupled back. I become inquisitive. I want to know what they are doing. And that's how I started. And when I finished, I started to study mechanical engineering so that I can be in fully.
wow.
Okay, because when you in this job, looking at the way the technology is moving, if you are not educated, you may not be able to fix some of those cars. You know, I enjoy fixing. Even till today, I fix. If you see me in my overall, you won't recognize me again.
Well, the way you smile saying that is obviously something that is quite, a lot. Because I mean, when I go to the mechanics, oftentimes, and I look at the engine of a car, I'm amazed at the sheer intelligence of men and women being able to put together these different parts, and every single retrofitting parts has its own place. If one is missing, the whole car doesn't even start. And then you look at it and you see somebody is able to pull down that whole engine, get the plugs out, get out the pistons, get out the suctions, get out all of those things, and then you're able to put all those pins.
Of course, it's training. So, like, maybe one of these days, any time permit me, I can play some of my videos where I'm doing that. I can dismantle vehicles from beginning to the end. Then I will couple back.
Wonderful.
Okay, when I was working with Mercedes-Benz place, at some point I decided to deviate, go and train on electrical. You understand? Apart from being mechanical engineer, I also train on electrical.
Because the electrical compartments in the cars.
Because if you are not an electrician, you won't be able to do all of that.
That's true.
You understand? So, it's something that, that's why I advise people, especially the young ladies. Women, they are more articulate when it comes to things like that. To be honest,
we're not going to go there. We're not doing the gender debate here, because I mean, you are a guest, so we are going to honor you on that level.
So I do all of that, And coming to being dirty, gone are the days when you can't even sit in a vehicle with a mechanic.
Yeah, I mean,
because they'll be so dirty and filthy, But we are professionals. We went to school. Because we have what we call, like, when they can't come into the workshop, we have a seat cover to cover the seats. We have foot mats to put on the floor so you don't stain and you have your hand towel in your pockets. While you are working, if your hand is dirty, you wash it immediately and clean your hand.
Okay.
And you don't even repeat your overall. You can change your overall for like three times in a week.
Okay.
That makes you different from the mechanic on the road.
Yeah, because it should be a campaign that I think your association should take. It's quite very annoying, to say the least, to see, because you're a mechanic doesn't necessarily mean you have to walk out of the workshop without an overall, and then people will sit beside you in a bus or a keke can't sit. It's just not fair.
I can wear my overall from here to anywhere.
I can imagine that. I mean, you have distinguished yourself, and I also noticed you don't even keep nails.
Yes, I don't keep nails. I don't do long hair.
Is that part of the sacrifice?
Yes.
As a future aspiring female mechanic, that's one.
No, definitely. If you are working on a car, you don't need to have long nails.
Okay.
It's part of safety precaution.
That's true.
You don't need to have long hair because your hair can be trapped in an engine. Maybe when you're trying to, and that would be dangerous. Okay, there's a lot of things, but I'm happy with it.
We're going to just take a quick break, and as soon as we're back, we'll continue. Viewers, please stay tuned. As soon as we're back from this break, she's going to respond to the question of whether the future is still going to remain fossil fuel, or we're obviously going to be driving electrical empowered cars. Please stay tuned.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Thank you. If you've just joined us, this is Business Matters, Nigeria's foremost business program that discusses everything about business, how to make money, and certainly how to embrace the future. In the studio with me is no other person than the one we call Ladybenz. And we're looking at the topic, the impact of automobile industries in Nigeria. Before we went on a break, we were exploring the question, will the world obviously embrace electrically powered cars in terms of cars which engine is going to rest more on electricity supply than what we are used to, which is diesel? And so, Joy, I know that the job of a mechanic is not an easy one. People feel that with electric cars coming in, we obviously will not be spending so much on mechanics anymore, because if we have a repair, we just get one part of the listing and put it ourselves. How do you respond to that?
Actually, on the part of the end user of the vehicle, he doesn't have much problem. But in terms of the technical aspect of it, the mechanics need to really work hard, because even presently, when you have electrical fault in an engine in a car, you have to troubleshoot. You run diagnosis, you do a lot of things before you can actually.
And a lot of people don't like diagnosis, because
yes,
the diagnosis actually helps to know
really
what
helps.
Exactly the problem is.
There's a lot of things you cannot do without diagnosis. Like, for instance, I want to service a car, all these newer modern cars, you must run computer reprogramming. Diagnosis, you will do service, you have to reset the service interval, you have to run a full test to see a lot of things in the car and all of that. So you can't do it without even the diagnosis. It is very, very important. If you don't diagnose, you'll just be playing with the car. You'll be doing guesswork. So, you know, if, like in terms of the having gas or electrical vehicles instead of petrol engines, well, in other part of the world, it might be very possible. But in Nigeria, except if we improve in our power sector. Okay. Because those cars will need to be charged. Okay. But in terms of air pollution, it's going to reduce air pollution drastically. That's true. Because you won't be having all these fumes from the exhaust. Yeah,
especially in Lagos, most of our downfalls and the rest of them. You're driving down, it's like it's not a funny
It's going to eliminate all those air pollution that one gets, and noise also is going to lessen the noise.
True. Yeah. That's true. Now, but we know that a lot of vehicles, the industry so far in time past, we used to have the Peugeot that was assembled here. Are they, as a matter of fact, aware that the world is moving away from this fossil fuel, or we feel in Nigeria is going to obviously run? Because there's a huge market. Tesla, for example, makes so much money. As a matter of fact, people say that it is part of what has made him one of the richest men in the world, that the invention of the Tesla brand, as the case might be. But do you see that happening in Nigeria in the next 10 years? Would we not still be running on this for another 10 years so that jobs can still be guaranteed?
I know, to be honest, in the next 10 years, I don't think we'll get there. Because of the power issues we have in Nigeria. And definitely it's going to take us a little time to adjust to it. So looking at it in another 10 years, I don't think it's going to be possible. If you are talking about in another 15 years or thereabout.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Because it will be difficult. Okay, for instance, like those people that have the buses we have, okay? The buses we use for transportation, both within the state and interstate. You know, most of them are petrol engine. When are you going to eliminate all these costs and give them electric?
And as it is right now, we don't even have enough of those for the public transport system.
Yes, we don't have enough. So that's why I say we'll be looking at maybe in the next 15 years or thereabouts. Yes.
I've always wanted to ask you this question, because I know that the auto industry itself is one that a lot of people complain in terms of parts. I mean, I'm driving, my shocks absorber is always going through a lot of pressure because the roads are very terrible. I realized that maybe my engine symbol or indicator is having one issue or the other. And oftentimes people say it's because perhaps the mechanics themselves, you take your car to the mechanic with one problem, you're leaving the mechanic's garage with 2, 3, 4 other problems added, as the case might be. Why is it that in your industry you don't have a situation whereby we can have certain costs that are very standard, and then we know that what we pay should be what you call workmanship or professional fees? Why is there always this sense for sharp practices that cost a lot of the car owners money that they never budgeted for?
No, like I said, everything depends on who is fixing the car.
Okay.
In every business, honesty and integrity should be key. You understand? When a customer walk into your workshop, I have problem with my car. The first thing, that's why diagnosis comes in. You diagnose the car.
Yeah, but diagnosis is not for free. It's not cheap either.
Of course, now you have to pay for the diagnosis. Okay? It's just like if you go to the hospital, won't you pay for
consultancy fee?
You pay consultancy fee, you pay for tests and all of that.
True.
Okay? So, and sometimes, like you said, maybe a customer come from one problem to the other. Sometimes customers are the problem. They know that their car have multiple problems. They will call, I just want to service my car. They won't tell you that yesterday the car stopped him on the way. Okay? And by the time you want to do only servicing, before you know it, you now discover that it's not, even the brake pad is not even good. Do you understand? And that is why it's always better to take your car, to patronize the professionals.
Oh, obviously, that
yes.
is. But I'm
companies, people who have all the equipment to check your car.
That's true. That's true.
It's always better. Though it will be a little bit expensive, but you get value for your money.
And peace of mind alongside
peace of
with
mind.
it.
You sleep very well.
Now, I don't want us to wrap up this particular discussion without focusing on the girl child, so to speak. We imagine that people like you had certain advantages. All right, and then you had access to training, you had access to all that. That is what has helped you to become a very distinguished certified ladybenz mechanic. But we look at the other younger girls coming up. Some of these equipments are not cheap. You need a space to have a proper garage in order for you to operate. Except you say you want to do mobile mechanic garage. I don't know how that will function, but even that itself has cost attached to it. How did you start, and what recommendations or advice can you give to female aspiring ones to say, okay, this is what you can do, this is what you can access funds to help you with this and that? I will imagine that.
Actually, like I always say, there's always a small beginning. Rome was not built in a day. If you're a mechanic who want to set up your business, your own business, you can actually start by getting the basic tools. You may not have the whole equipment for a start. You get the basic tools, get your diagnostic machine, get the few little tools. Then if you have a car, you can do mobile workshop. That was how I started.
Mobile workshop.
Mobile workshop. You have all the necessary tools and all of that in your car. Then if it requires maybe dropping off, overhauling of an engine, you can actually go to a workshop that you have an agreement with and fix it. Then you try and register your business.
That's true.
Because even if you want to source for loan and your business is not registered, for the kind of business you want to do, like automobile for instance, you need to register it. If not, the loan will not be granted to you. And you have to define what you want, the business you want to do. You have to put a lot of things in place, not just getting the loan. Okay, so you can approach any of these commercial banks also. And if you have,
going on.
Yeah, when you have a good business plan, I'm sure they will grant you the loan.
All right, Joy. I'm glad that we've been able to have this conversation. Sadly, unfortunately, time is never our friend, and TV time always flies, like a bullet out of its nozzles. I want to say a big thank you for honoring us on this invitation. You and I know what happened, but we'll just smile in front of the camera. I say thank you and hope that in the future, when we invite you for some other engagement like this, you will definitely honor us, man.
Yeah, I want to say just what before we leave.
Okay.
For viewers over there, ladybenz Automechanic offers free training for ladies.
Okay. Free training, we heard that.
Yes,
Great.
free training for ladies. You don't need to pay me anything, and I will give you every necessary support.
That's great. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be wrapping up this edition of this particular segment, which is a very wonderful way to wrap it up. The girl child especially has all of the opportunities, just like you've heard ladybenz. You take an advantage of that so that tomorrow you will be one of our own distinguished female auto mechanic professionals. Please stay tuned. Business Matter continues after this moment. automobile industry is here to stay, and definitely it is moving from what it is today to what the future is offering. And this is necessitated by climate change. However, the girl child is definitely a very important element in all of this. This is the reason why we must begin to create opportunities, especially for female auto mechanics, so that they themselves can contribute their quota to the nation's GDP. This is so much we can bring to you on this week's edition of Business Matters. Please follow us on all our social media handles and explore our website. My name is Stephen Ipalibo Lawson. Until I come your way again, bye-bye for now.